Most retirement planning advice talks about earning, saving, and investing money. And of course, that part's critical. Without that, you have no nest egg. But there's another equally important side of retirement planning that most people miss. Once you retire, one of the easiest ways to improve your cash flow, to make your money last longer, isn't earning more. It's not allocating funds to things that don't really bring you value or joy anymore. Money saved really is money earned, only better because you're not taxed on money saved. As a financial advisor, I see most people get the first part right. They save and they invest, but then they carry into their retirement all kinds of unnecessary expenses that maybe made sense at one point in time, but not so much now. And those things don't just cost money, they add complexity and stress to your life. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a few places where this can happen, where money might be leaking out of your plan without adding value anymore. Let's start with the house. This is usually the biggest one. Not because it was a bad decision. For most people, it was exactly the right house at the time. Kids were home and life was busy. You needed the space. But fast forward, the kids are gone, routines have changed, and now maybe you're living in part of the house, but still paying for all of it. Utilities are higher than they need to be, roofs leak, water heaters break, and property taxes don't adjust for retirement. I'm not saying you should sell the house. I'm just saying it might be worth asking a question, does this house still fit how you actually live now? Or are you paying for space and upkeep that doesn't really add value to your life anymore? If downsizing reduces expenses and frees up cash, you're not really giving something up. It's keeping cash in your plan instead of flowing out every month, or at least going out to something that adds value to your life now. Once you see how this applies to your house, it's easier to see how it can apply to other things too. Cars are often the next one that comes up. When you're working, having multiple cars usually makes sense. You're commuting, schedules don't line up, and everyone's going in different directions. Retirement changes that. A lot of couples are home more. They may be going to the same places, or maybe they just don't drive as much as they used to. But the cost of owning multiple cars doesn't change. Insurance, maintenance, and registration fees just keep coming. And again, I'm not saying everybody should have just one car. What I am saying is it might be worth asking, is every car you own still worth the costs? Once you start thinking this way, you usually notice a few other big things. Things that sounded great and maybe were great at one time, but now maybe don't get used as much as you thought they would. This is where boats and RVs come in. I'm not saying these are bad things, and for some people they're still worth every dollar, but for a lot of people, they sit more than they thought they would. And even when they're sitting idle, the costs keep coming. Storage, insurance, maintenance, and registration fees. So the question isn't, did we make a mistake? It's, are we getting enough value out of this every year to justify the costs? After the big ticket stuff, this usually shifts to smaller things. Not one big expense, just a lot of little things that maybe stuck around. Most people don't do this intentionally. Maybe they set things up years ago, subscriptions, services, automatic payments, and they just keep rolling. Each one might not be a big deal, but together they add up. You might want to ask yourself, would we still sign up for this today? All this applies to finances too, especially things that were chosen a long time ago. A lot of people have investments that maybe made sense when they bought them, when they had different goals, when they were in a different tax situation, when they were in a different stage of life. But they haven't really thought of them since. Now they're dealing with fees and complexity and multiple statements. Maybe all these investments are fine, but it might be worth checking just to see if they still do what you need them to do now. Sometimes it's not even the investments themselves, it's how many pieces to the puzzle there are. I see people with investments all over the place. Different firms, different logins, different statements, different 1099s. Keeping track of it all takes time and energy, and in retirement, that makes a difference. Simplifying doesn't change how much you have, it just makes things a lot easier to deal with. Not to mention it makes things a lot easier on your heirs should something happen to you. Now, you don't have to figure this out all at once. Maybe start with just one thing and ask, does this still make sense for how you're living now? That one step could change how retirement feels to you. If you'd like help planning for retirement or managing your investments, that's what I do. There's a link below if you'd like to talk. And I'm curious, does any of this make sense to you? Or is there a part of this that doesn't quite sit right? I'd love to hear your perspective. Please leave a comment below. And for more on retirement planning and investment management, watch these videos next.